It's up a few minutes early here. Figured we'd get started. As you jump on, just say, hey, what's up, or here, or say something. Let us know you're here. When we start seeing some comments, we'll start discussing. What's up, guys? Multicam black, red thread, super kit bags. How sweet are those things? That as sweet as that, huh? I see 2 online. United States Post-Apocalypse. Looks like the post office logo. Anybody get shipping today? Showing 5 online. Anybody get shipping? Bunch of stuff shipped. Those boxes were all boxed tonight, and those are ready to ship tomorrow morning. How sweet are those? Lots of stuff boxed and shipped out today. Lots of grocery bags got done. Tons of dual-handled boot bags went into orders. We're not seeing any interaction on Instagram or Facebook at all. If you look at the last post for the last few days, no comments, nothing. I don't know what's up. Even here, the comments are very, very low. The interaction's very low. A lot of times on the order codes, when we give you guys free bags, we let you pick your colors. So that takes a long time to ship a lot of that stuff because we build exactly what you want. So these are Multicam Tropic dual-handled boot bags. These over here will be Multicam Black Red Thread dual-handled boot bags. And there's Multicam going there. Woodland was done today. We've got Multicam Black kit bags also going, if you're interested in having one of those. More belts for tomorrow morning. And then all of these here are, these will be Friday the 13th zippered knife pouches. These are Friday, nope, these are Multicam Black dual-handle boot bags. They get done in batches of like 24. Here's more of your lined boot bags for President's Day. So as the orders get completed and everything's in your box, then we build the batch up. So this here is actually 22 Multicam Black and then 10 with red zipper. So 32. Those are all orders ready to ship once the free bag's done. Got some red handled or some red vehicle med bags. I've got some stacked micro rigs about to go. Large clothes bags, firewood carriers. Amanda, what's up? Is it me or are there no comments? No, there's no comments, buddy. There's only 8 people here. We're in this thing for 3 minutes and only 8 people are online. Do you think maybe they're not pushing notifications? What else would it be, right? It's across all platforms right now. Yeah, I see Greg and Amanda, exactly. That's what's here. Greg, what's up, buddy? And 100 Days. Bunch of zippered knife pouches. There's 13 gallons of zippered knife pouches. Here's another probably 50 zippered knife pouches. Didn't get notified. Yeah, I don't know what's up, man. I must have said something somewhere that they don't like again, or they bothered to look at our videos and realized I say shit every day they don't like. Roll-up dump pouches about to be made. Dual-handle boot bags. More. Tiffany blue, one's over there. Watch the hydration pack build video, very cool. My question is, do ever CAD? No, we never do. How do you, other than experience, go through the creation? So I was talking to a dude today who builds a lot of gear. He's got a company building a lot of EDC type stuff and bicycle bags and stuff. And that's what I told him. I go, I don't ever draw anything out or math anything out. I build it, and then we reverse engineer it. The CAD thing's cool. All the pre-planning, the programming and shit they have now. But you're never going to be able to. What happens if the internet went out with that thing? Those guys will never be able to build this shit. I think you're a stronger craftsman learning how to do it from scratch. Just kind of build your shit. And once you have a pouch made, right? Like once you have a rectangular bag made, all you gotta do is change the dimensions, right? So if this thing here is, what is this? We know these are 1.5 inches, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 16. This bag's 16 across. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's about 11 inches by 16 inches. So if I want to make this thing 14 inches, right, I just take off 2 inches here and 2 inches here. So just pull 2 out of the middle here, 2 out of the middle here. No notification and unsubscribe. Yeah, fucking what a trip, man. Chuck Peoples, what's up? Scott Hessen, what's up? I now look and turn everything inside out and study it. Get a new machine Thursday. What are you getting? What do you got coming? And Greg, take shit and cut it apart, man. Take shit and cut it apart. You can go to Walmart, find a bag you like, cut that thing apart, add a little bit more meat into yours, and then bedazzle it how you want it bedazzled. Juki 1541. Yeah, so you said that the other night. I never did find a 1541. I feel like we had one or two, but I never did find one in here. How much was it? So we've been on here 8 minutes, and there's only 14 people on here. 1850 brand new. Nice, nice. I'm gonna look that up right now while I'm thinking about it and see what it is that you got. Juki 1541. Right on. Single needle, let's see. Right on, cool. Yeah, that looks like these. That looks like the ones we have. These 1805s. $15 now, Brian, what's up? 1508s, that's what we're running. Any chance SOE hat will be made? Yeah, we need to do some. If you think about it, remind me tomorrow, and I'll push some artwork to some couple of hat places. They don't sell real well. We do a couple dozen hats, like we do 48, and they sit here for quite a while. Watching the sun for 10 minutes this morning. Roger, it's the hardest thing I do every morning is to sit still in front of the sun. That literally is the hardest thing for me to do. Forward Observer tell you what his new book is, and when it's dropping. So I don't know, but he will be here. I would assume if you go to his Instagram or Facebook, it's probably on there, or information about it at least. Anybody get tracking information today? Haven't seen the sun in the morning for so long. Got some sun on the walk home. On the walk home today, though. Were you walking home by choice? Question mark. You really don't need to do that, right? If you're not, if you're working nights you don't need to really sit out and set your circadian rhythm for that, right? I wouldn't think, because it's for getting up in the morning. It's for setting your clock. Ruck to work 2 to 3 times. Oh, nice. Very cool, man. Very cool. What kind of ruck you running? What kind of pack you got? How long do you look at the sun? I do 15 minutes. You need to do 10. I figure if 10's the number, 15's probably better. And you don't have to stare at the sun. Look towards the sun. But he said, you know, not through glasses, not through sunglasses, not through a windshield. It cuts out that part of the UV that you need. Aussie crackhead. Oh, you got an Aussie dog? Right on. When will we start getting the I planted plants? Sunday. I put in dill. I put in some cabbages. I put in oregano. I think I put in a couple of. We just bought starts Saturday night at Home Depot and Lowe's. 511 Rush 72. Right on, right on. 22 pounds of 20 pounds of rice. Nice, nice. Does it work through the clouds? Yeah, it's supposed to. The UV lights will still come through. Kroll, what's up, buddy? The pics I sent of Balboa Park were crazy. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy that they have the greenhouse all taken apart. And Michael Loveday, man, if you're interested in that, just look up Huberman on Instagram. He's very active on Instagram and YouTube. He's everywhere. But his Instagram stuff is very short and actionable, and you don't have to buy extra shit to do most of it, right? Most of it's just things you can do on your own. Now, granted, you could buy a hyperbaric chamber, you could buy oxygen therapy, you could buy red light therapy, right? But there's a lot of things in there that you can do that don't cost anything extra. I didn't even know we had these padded hearing protection cases. What else is around in here? Injectable cases, cigar cases, knife portfolios. I'm new here. I was looking for a decent Pelican 1550 lid organizer and didn't find much that I liked. Any chance you'd make something? So we're not the place for that. You probably want something rigid that goes in there, because how are you going to attach ours, right? You're going to use adhesive Velcro. And as soon as it heats up, the adhesive Velcro is not going to work in there. I would tell you to check out Gray Man Tactical. They make like cut MOLLE panels, right? This one's not. This one's metal, and it's from Rago. But they make one specifically for most of the Pelican cases. Gray Man Tactical. I have some in my trucks. You see, Health Ranger Guy did a lab workup on the Tractor Supply feed. So I know several people did. I didn't see the final results from it. What were the results? What did he say? Now, as far as all the stuff you put onto that panel, Wilderness, we have all kinds of stuff to go on modular panels and stuff. We can organize it. But what you'll find for inside a case like that, you can buy all kinds of pouches to put stuff in, but you can also just use bungee cord, shock cord, and just shock cord your stuff onto there. And then you don't have to spend, you know, $25 to hold the tourniquet. You can just buy a couple cents worth of bungee and it will fully hold your tourniquet. Chris, what's up, man? How are you? But as far as rigs and stuff like that, we build all this stuff right here in this building. And then like a lot of our stuff is modular. So like all your doors inside your safe, a lot of them Velcro will attach to. A lot of headliners, a lot of carpet in vehicles, Velcro will attach to. All of our bags have Velcro inside them, most of them. And then we do all of these, right? So we've got single pistol, which will hold flashlights and knives and multi-tools, doubles, triples, quads, up to 5. And then for mag pouches, rifle mags, right? We've got 308, and then we've got 5.56. We've got duals, triples, quads, and then we do Velcro adjustable holsters. These will hold a rifle fore-end and stock, or a pistol, or radios, or fire extinguishers, DeWalt tools, Milwaukee tools, whatever color tools you like. And you can organize stuff in that manner. And then we also make all of these mesh pockets. And we do a small mesh pocket, and we do a large mesh pocket. And the difference is that the large is twice the size of the small. And if you don't need Velcro, right, these are all Velcro backed. If you don't want Velcro, we do them with PALS back. And if you don't need the PALS, you can put these inside things to organize stuff, and then put pins and chem lights and, you know, stuff with hooks, tube lights and stuff through those PALS. So you can use the inside and outside. The organic had no Roundup in it. He thought the labs were better than he thought they were going to be. Got it. Got it. Yeah, I do remember hearing that. He said it's not terrible and did not see how the results would impact acres. Well, they were definitely, something was going on. A lot of people started making phone calls to Tractor Supply corporate. They were told that Purina makes their feed. And then when they started calling Purina and finally spoke to somebody, they said, yes, we do make the feed for Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply recently changed the formula they wanted put in into their feed. Something else you might not realize is Purina, who makes all the feed, also owns the egg companies. Your biggest egg production company is owned by Purina. A lot of the animal feed companies own the poultry companies, or vice versa. Empty, what's up? Anything cool happen for anybody today? Anybody make anything good happen today? Have one of the slide holsters. Is there an option to fit a 43 better? There's really not. There's really not. 43 is a little tiny pistol, right? No, the problem is the gun's so small. A lot of Kydex guys will make you a specific Kydex holster flat on the back and with Velcro, so you can Velcro it into places. Ryan Ray, yeah, I've seen this door before. I saw somebody sent me that recently. Let me get to my live chat. I don't know why I don't ever remember to do that. Was the supplement Gorilla Labs? Can't remember where I heard you talking about that. Yeah, Gorilla Labs. Let me see which one's which. I use Gorilla Labs and I use Gorilla Minds, I think. Let me see. For two different things. Here, oh, I have a big washer in my pocket that's clanking on this one. Listen to FBI take on Waco earlier in the Pulling the Thread podcast. So I know a little bit about Waco. I was in federal prison with a man named Paul Fata, who was at Waco, and his wife was burned to death at Waco. Gorilla Mode. More plates, more dates. That's the dude that owns this company, Gorilla Mode. I use the pre-workout and I use the non-stim pre-workout. I like the non-stim very much. Cut a lot of trees. and didn't knock the power out on anyone today. That's always good. The new J6 footage is crazy. We didn't see it for 2 years. It's absolutely crazy. It shows that they were full of shit. It shows that the people who put those other people in jail, should they themselves be in fucking jail. We have people in fucking prison right now for 4 years that were literally escorted through the Capitol building. Ryan, first time catching it. How'd you find out about us? There's another gorilla company. Hold on, I'll show you that one. Let's see what this is. These guys are out of Florida. Gorilla Healing. Gorilla Healing. And then also these guys are out of Florida. Black Forest Laboratories. Patent ran out on Roundup a few years ago. Glyphosate is now generic and less effective. Is it? Is it? Because you can still get the real glyphosate. So is the generic less effective, or have the plants evolved? Congress is freaking out about the footage. Chuck Schumer is calling for Tucker to be removed. You're talking about the same people that said that the shaman should be executed. Literally said he should be killed. Been keeping up with SOE for years. Well, welcome, man. How the hell is that HBO? That HBO was filming the same day? Yeah. How about the Capitol Police said they wanted to remove Congress from Congress, and they were denied. Almost like they wanted some shit to happen. No Gorilla Labs though. No, Gorilla Labs. I feel like Gorilla Labs is actually anabolic steroids. I seem to think that there is a Gorilla Labs, but it is not like you kind of roll the dice, right? Iridium, what's up, buddy? How are you? Wilderness Bushcraft, awesome. I'm going to check your store and see what systems integrate well. I've picked up a few additional surplus Pelican cases, and I think you've given me some good... Yeah, you have a lot of options, man. You really do. There is a shitload of surplus Pelican cases on the market. If you just go into Facebook Marketplace and type in Pelican, you will find all kinds of Pelican cases of all different sizes. You also have some options you can get with Kaizen foam. There's a few companies that have foam inserts to go into different Pelican boxes. And some of it's pick apart, and then you can also go really fancy and they will laser cut that shit to your stuff specifically. But with that said, you can easily spend 10 times more on the inserts than you paid for the case. Congress Street, yeah, we read that. I attempted to sew a Cobra belt today and failed. Why? What do you mean you failed? How so? Dean Conrad, what supplement specifically are you looking for, bud? Do what Jaeger did, soft cases inside the hard. Yeah, he always ran our bags inside of hard cases. Enjoyed the live you did with Nicole and Jack. I like that you brought up Andy's ideas of having a tax return about. Yep. Ask Andy where he got those ideas from. I've been getting 1550s for $40 at the surplus. Found you on a collaboration with Bear. Right on. Wilderness, I don't know where you're located. Bear will be here on this property in 2 weeks. On the 25th and 26th, we're having Self-Reliance Festival 5 here. Bear will be here presenting. On the Friday before that, Bear will be here with Refuge Medical doing 2 back-to-back Stop the Bleed classes. lack of experience, and 300. That's your problem. That's your problem, your sewing machine. So your needle's not big enough. You need 69 thread nylon, not polyester. You need 69 or 70 nylon, and you need a bigger needle, and you need a more powerful machine is your problem. Now, it depends what webbing you're using, right? It depends on the webbing. We use a resin reinforced poly scuba belt webbing. It's literally made to put lead dive belts on. That's what it was made for. And we use 2 layers of that. And the machine have enough power to get through it. The needle will actually heat up and it will melt the thread also. 100% sure would like to just start using some for a edge. Got it. That would be really good for everyone who works hard for voting to only be allowed for tax. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to vote, right, if you're going to vote, you should have money in the game, right? Have some skin in the game. So if you're going to vote, of course, people who don't work are going to vote for government to give them free money. Do you think anybody who works would vote for the government to give people who don't work free money? If you want to see the actual pulse of the citizenship, you want to see the actual want of the people, that's all you got to do. You would know within fucking hours what the actual people want. What was it like when you started to sew when you didn't have strong enough machines to handle thick material? Well, I did, Derek. I probably did. Well, I had a lightweight machine. It was much heavier weight than any home sewing machine. I actually have one here still. Surely it's not on the floor though. But I still have a Singer 130 or 130E or something floating around here. Here's one right here, right? This is a lightweight. See how it only has one tensioner? So it's not a walking foot, it's just a straight stitch. I sewed shit on these things for years and years and years. Dive belt webbing, standard nylon webbing, and Cordura Pals, going slow, make it better, but takes forever. Yeah, it will. You just need to bite the bullet. Like, just be honest with yourself, right? What is it you're doing? What is it you're making, and why are you making it, right? Is it just a hobby? Then you don't have to be fast. But if you're planning to do this and actually sell any of your products, go steal some money somewhere, beg someplace, stand on the street corner and do whatever you got to do, get the money. Just get you $1,500, $2,000 and get going right. Take a loan out, max out your credit card, whatever you got to do. Whatever you have to do. See, everybody in our groups and this, survival guys, prepper guys, they're going to tell you credit's evil. And it is if you're a fucking loser. It is, right? If you're going to max that card out and make the minimum payments, on fucking $5,000, you're going to pay $80,000, right? If you make the minimum payments. But if you're motivated, I operate better when I have no options, right? I can max out my bank account, have zero money. I'm going to figure out the next day how to make that money I need. That's what I'm going to be motivated by that. So if you're a doer, then don't worry about it. If you're a loser and you're constantly paying the minimum and all your shit's fucked up, you probably shouldn't do what I just told you to do. Was listening to Pulling the Thread earlier, I think 11. Why do you think we stopped utilizing or putting funds into mental health institutions? Because there's no oversight. There was no oversight. What we were talking about is asylums, not mental institutions. Asylums really were horrible places, right? They were where we hid family members that we were embarrassed of, or we put family members there to punish them. There were crazy people. There was also a lot of people who went crazy from being around crazy people. But a lot of it was very torturous. You could take a woman, your wife, for instance, for any number of reasons, fabricated, and you could lock her in a place where she was the captive of men. and you could go get yourself a new wife, or your daughter got pregnant, or any number of things. And I believe in the beginning it was helpful, and I think that it did help some people, right? There truly were people who could not fit into society, and this gave them a protective place to live. But a lot of it was very, it was very horrible. And then, like, when they started using different Lagactil and different drugs, right, Thorazine, they would basically create zombies, right? And now these people couldn't wipe their own asses. And then as time went by, things got run down, and they were overcrowded. So you had very few people taking care of very many people, and terrible shit happened. I mean, it's not hard to get the details. There's tons of videos about it. But the places, they've just changed things. They used to lobotomize people. Electroshock therapy would actually crack backs and break bones and all kinds of stuff. But once those people got those treatments, while the forward-facing medical profession, and it's not even medical, right? My dad's a psychologist. So, show me a test, show me a blood test or a chemical test or anything that you can take that I could give you that shows that you're crazy, right? It's at the behest of other people. And a lot of times when people get in there, there is no oversight. You are literally captive. And especially if you have insurance, right? They can do a 90-day hold on you. As soon as your insurance is done, though, they'll kick you right out. But that 90 days, they won't tell your family shit. And a lot of it, there's just it is used as punishment, right? If you said something to law enforcement that they didn't like, they might get you put into a mental facility. You say something to a judge that he doesn't like, it's very vindictive. And there's not a lot of oversight over it. People get lost in those systems. They still exist today. We just call them psychiatric hospitals. Just type in psychiatric hospital and start watching some random videos on YouTube. You'll see what I'm talking about. My mother-in-law that worked at Western State. Oh, I'd love to talk to her, Chris. I'd love to actually sit down and interview her. I have a console on the way. Great, Ryan. You'll love it. This is my first go I've sewn by hand. Yeah, very, very different animal. Go study Central State in Midgeville, Georgia. Yes. Look up Western State Hospital, right? There's one in West Virginia. Tyler was here today, by the way, from West Virginia. If you've known SOE for years, you know who Tyler is. He'll be back here in 2 weeks. He'll be back here. But Western State Hospital, right? We had 4 of them in Tennessee. 3 are burnt down, 1 still standing. Amanda and I ran through there for about 10 hours months ago. I have a video of it. Crazy shit happened there. Absolutely crazy shit. All the shit you think of with asylums happened there. We used to have advertising for psychiatric hospital back in the 90s, but I haven't seen an ad in 20 years. Yes. Tell people county mental health keeps a bed open for me. January 6th still a thing. It doesn't appear to be. They want to keep looking. They want it to look that way, right? Because it gives you something to divert your attention. And they've also held people in captivity. Shit, the shaman, right? They gave him 4 years in prison. For what? The police opened the door and escorted him. They were in front of him, as a matter of fact. He followed the police officers. There's 40,000 hours of footage that's been handed over to Tucker Carlson. This has just scratched the surface, what you've seen so far. Guzman, what's up, buddy? I saw you in that thread asking for a horizontal pouch. Cops literally showed him. Yes, they did. Did he have a trial? He did have a trial. I think he had a trial, yeah. Dr. Freeman performed more than 3,500 lobotomies. Yes, he had a van that said lobotomy mobile. You know, they didn't even sterilize those. You know, the first ones that he did the first lobotomies with were ice picks from his drawer in the kitchen. His son has written several books and he's been interviewed. His son still don't understand how one can trespass on public. No shit, buddy. I'm with you, Rufus. Have you been through any abandoned asylum? Yes, Derek. Yeah, I have videos of them on YouTube. Yeah, we have. Yeah, I used to have credit cards maxed out, and I would only make the minimum payment. Yeah, it's insane, guys. If you should, okay, if you buy a $300,000 house at 5% interest, your payments are $2,000, right? Let's say they're $2,000. Do you know that if your interest rate went to 6%, 1%, do you know that your payments are $3,200 or $1,200 a month more? Now look at this, okay? If you have a reoccurring payment every month, let's say it's mortgage, let's say it's truck payment, whatever it is, okay? If you're going to pay a payment of $1,000 a month, break it up and pay $250 a month, $250 a week, okay? Because $250 a week is still $1,000 a month. But what happens is when you make those payments, that first $250 you paid that week, and then the next $250 and the next $250, instead of paying at the end of the month, you've already paid $750. That's $750 less that you're paying interest on. They don't just accumulate that interest every 30 days. Start making those payments. Make multiple payments a month. I don't think the shaman should be imprisoned for bad wardrobe choices. Did you see him running through there? Did you see how he acted? Did you see what he said? Does he look like a criminal? Steady compounding interest, it will make you poor or wealthy. Yep. I'm back to keeping a bag packed for the ER. Never a dull moment. Ryan Ray. 8 Bears Adventure, what's up? What's up? How has it been? What's the comment that you deleted there? Does your dad know you're up? Are you supposed to be in bed? I went Georgia College in Midgeville, and Central State Hospital is still standing, and the unmarked graves are real. Yes, they are. Yeah, when closed, they put many of the patients in halfway houses in the city. Yeah, so that was Geraldo Rivera got into an asylum and was able to film a bunch of stuff they didn't know he was filming. And then he came back, and he was supposed to come back in like 6 weeks, but he showed up in 5 weeks instead. And they were sterilizing and cleaning the place. They actually built walls across and fucking walled off a bunch of areas so he couldn't get there. There was a bunch of terrible shit. And then Nancy Reagan saw it, and it became her pet project. And they literally opened the gates and emptied the asylums. They cut off federal funding to them. So all those people, that's a large part of your homeless population are people that would have been in those hospitals. But now we put them in hospitals, and we put them in a bed, and we fucking drug them up. Now I'm getting notifications. Did you go live? I did not go live last night. Yeah, I should be in bed. I want to make multiple payments on my car a month and see where the principal gets. Do it. Do it. You can put it into an amortization program, and it'll spit the numbers out. Medi, what's up, buddy? When you were leaving prison, was everyone there planning on getting out of prison and having a fresh start, or were they institutionalized where they were planning on doing something? No, Derek, I was in federal prison Lompoc. I was in prison with federal court judges. I was in prison with guys who were on the cover of Wall Street Journal, you know, that kind of stuff. No, a lot of guys I was in prison with, I was at a low, so they had already been at a max and then a medium. So I was in prison with dudes that were in there 13 years, 15 years. But there was all kinds of like real estate classes and investing classes. Like businessmen. I was in prison with businessmen. I still know people today that I was in federal prison with. I would rather do business with them in a lot of cases than other people. Like they're a lot of dudes who have money just because they hadn't gotten caught. Here's an example, right? I was in prison with a guy named Mike McCoy. And he did accounts receivable financing and alternative financing, right? So they would do flooring and different things. he had a bunch of investors that gave him a bunch of money to invest in stuff. He diverted the money and instead brought in, I think it was Kia. I think he brought in the first Kias, brought in Kia and funded a bunch of lots, paid back all of his people, right? All of his investors got paid at a profit. When the feds caught on to this, and I don't know how they caught on to it, but they went after him, and none of the people who invested would press charges or testify against him. They only testified on his behalf. But the feds still jammed him up, and he did like 12 years. There was no victim, literally no victim. He just diverted funds from one thing to another thing and paid all of the people. Nobody lost money on this, but he was still in federal prison. A lot of dudes in prison, I'd say 85% of people in prison, they're only there because somebody told on them. There's a charge called conspiracy. There was a dude in Lompoc with me. His neighbor robbed a bank. The dude I was in prison with, he didn't tell on the dude for robbing the bank. That's what he was in prison for. If they want you in prison, if they want to make an example of you, or for instance, a federal agent wants to date your wife or is having a relationship with your wife currently and wants to get rid of you, it is not hard to do. There's a lot of people in the system who did not actually commit a crime. Thoughts on Oklahoma bombings? Well, what was bombed in the Oklahoma bombing? What blew up that nobody ever found or was ever spoken about again? Do you know the answer to that? What files were destroyed in the Oklahoma building? Do you have any topics of conversation for your next Pulling the Thread? No, we never do. We just go in literally, we hang out for about 15 minutes, and when the headphones and the mics go on, we start talking. Neither one of us knows what we're going to talk about. Yeah, the feds didn't get their cut. Carpenter I work with is a neighbor of the dude propping his boots on Sweetie's desk. Said at least 200 agents showed up to get him. Yeah. I'll bet we had 60 agents when they raided my place. And 13 agencies. Gulf War Syndrome. The Gulf War Syndrome, all the files for the Gulf War Syndrome happened to be there and were all destroyed in the Oklahoma City bombing. We're talking about Timothy McVeigh, right? McVeigh's supposed bombing. Notice I said supposed. How about High Point's contract to supply Ukraine with battle rifles and heavy support guns? Is that true, or is that something that we said on the podcast? 8 Bear. Hey, you have a good night too, man. I'll see you soon, dude. Just got yelled at. I didn't tell on you. Wait a minute. Who yelled at you? Your mom yelled at you, didn't she? You tell your mom I said she better be nicer to you. Clinton Files, art office. No one there that day. Need to make Scully a Glock point. Oh, I like it. Glock point. Hang on a second. I ate some water here. From my Super Berkey. You seen this shirt? You want to see the shirt for? Oh look, I just got these. New videos are loading right now. And then we've got new shirt next week. Should we do this one? It's really red. I don't know why it looks orange. It looks orange on my iPad when I'm looking at it backwards here. But turn it around, maybe it'll look better. Yeah, see, it looks red there. It still looks orange. It'll be red. And then should I do I stand with the United States? High Points RS, I think that's what this says. What does this say? High Point Firearms, the champagne of firearms. I'm on day 3 of sun exposure in the morning so far. Most noticeable effect so far, I'm in a better mood. Well, fuck, if that's all you get, fucking great, right? Some other shit will show up. Do you sleep at night? What time do you go to bed, right? I assume you're going to bed after this or soon. It will help you go to sleep. Do you think anything will ever happen with the Epstein client list? Yes. When you pool all your friends and you've had enough and it's time to punish corrupt politicians, that is when something will be done. Have you seen how fucking appalled they pretend to be when they hear that U.S. citizens actually want their Second Amendment rights to protect them against corrupt politicians? Have you seen how appalled they look when they think that they might be tar and feathered? Any chance the post-apocalypse shirt will become a patch? Maybe eventually. Maybe. I stand with Trump, right on. Thoughts on RMR? Tons of dudes run them, man. Guys walk in this building every fucking day, and they got RMRs on their Glocks. The guilty flee even when not pursued. I like it. Yeah. Well, think about that, right? Can we all agree that super wealthy people are building bunkers outside of the United States? Chris, can you see that? I got some more right here too. I have it all over me, all over my arms, everywhere. Can we agree that super wealthy elite people are building bunkers all over the place as though they are planning to flee the United States? It's because they're fleecing the United States. All this crazy shit that's going on, and you wonder why your government is pushing this and allowing this to happen, right? It's because they are diluting you. They are diluting your uniqueness, right? They are lowering your will, maybe not you, but population as a whole. They are going to weaken you, and when other people come in, other outside countries try to come into the United States because the United States is in such a weak position, your politicians, your elite, and your wealthy, they have already fleeced the United, right? They keep creating fake money and then giving themselves a bunch more of that money off of graft and shit. And then they convert that money, which will be useless, they convert that into assets, right? Even if the US dollar collapses, Gulfstream 5s are still going to hold value, right? Mega yachts are still going to have value. They will leave the United States. Outside of the stars, they're going to different countries. They're building bunkers and bunker systems. Wait till people finally figure out their pension. Yeah, there is no pension. Right now, it is taking 2 people to pay 1 person. That's how pensions are working right now. You and I will never get a fucking pension. But they keep up all that fucking tax to put into our pensions that we're never going to get, because if we didn't pay the pension, they couldn't pay the fucking federal employee pensions right now. Of course, that it's just a Ponzi scheme that keeps going and going and going. Historically, violence is always the answer, right? Our side wants to do these pussy little games. And the reason is because the only way we communicate are through these devices right here, right? So if Tim Pool, for instance, came out and said nothing's going to change until there is violence, they will unmonetize his feed. You know, he makes over $1 million a month off of super chats and off of fucking monetization on YouTube, just YouTube, right? So all of these people who we communicate with, when I stand here and I go, nothing will change without violence. Historically, violence is the only answer. Always has been, right? My thread is demonetized. And it's not only demonetized on this platform, it's cross-platform. Google owns all of them if you dig through deep enough, right? It's all alphabet. So when I came on and I was on here for 20 minutes and only 12 people were here and were like, hey, there's no notifications. That's because of this. Violence is life. Yes. If you're not willing to do violence, violence will be brought to you. I want an arm on your Glock. I think you should get whatever you want, man. If it fucking makes you happy, I think you should do that. This is the rob the treasury phase of Roman. That's exactly what's going on. 100% U.S. being tenderized. That's exactly it, right? How many combat age males just came across our border this year? Anybody know? How about in the last 10 years? You know they're not Mexicans, right? They don't fucking speak Spanish. Well, there's a lot of Russians that do speak Spanish, but they're not fucking Mexicans coming across our border. How many Chinese are embedded in the United States right now over the last decade? How many Russians are here? How many people that hate the United States are embedded within the United States right now? Pierre's got an RMR. Pierre's got an RMR in his gun. David Black's got an RMR. Bunch of them dudes. Thoughts on Cabot guns? Just I don't know anything about it. I don't know what they are. Stay dangerous. Random attacks on the rise. Random attacks are through the roof. Train derailments are through the roof. 50% of your poultry production is completely offline, right? How much of our fuel production is offline right now? Not just like turned off, but literally destroyed right now within the United States. I think there's sleeper cells all over the place. We have sold so much of the United States to China. The largest military runway in the United States is in Texas. China owns it. Long Beach Naval Shipyard, China owns it. A very popular China area is in Idaho. It's miles and miles and miles of the United States that is Chinese sovereign territory. It is its own city, has its own power generation, everything. All of your fast food uniforms are made there. Just look this up and start pulling that thread. And you know who lives there? It ain't fine China citizens. It's Uyghur Muslim slaves that in the United States here. You want to really see some shit? Look up organ trade. Organs, right? Look up organ medical tourism. 1,000 derailments per year. There's actually 1,700 derailments per year. Do you know there was just another derailment with toxic materials on the ground spilled in Springfield, Ohio 3 days ago? Dude, I'm in Arizona. I'm well aware of military assets walking the streets. Well, yeah, so Arizona, right? Mexico side of Mexican Arizona. Before I left here, there was MRAPs and fucking miniguns and 40 Mikes out of Mark 19s on a pretty fucking regular basis, exchanging two-way fucking fire in Arizona. And that was 17 years ago that shit was happening. We worked with BORTAC and REACT pretty close. So like we saw actual footage of that shit. Saturday the train derailed. Harvesting organs from children on Epstein Island. I think they were more than that. I don't think they were harvesting. I think they were taking organs. I don't think it was anything about organ transplant with Epstein Island. Just cut to the chase. We sold. We didn't sell it. It's been sold out from under you. And I think the people that we perceive as in power, right, like Congress, I think that's just bread and circuses. I saw violence is life. I saw 401k is gone as well. Yeah. If you have money someplace right now, you should take it from, I would take it from cash and put it into assets, right? I would put it into something, what do you perceive, right? So when COVID started and we thought that it might be kind of real, I put in fencing, right? We fenced the property. We brought in dogs. We doubled all of our lights, all of our inward facing lights. We doubled them and put outward facing lights. So that's 17 big fucking power poles, right? We brought in tiny houses. We brought in tiny houses because they'd be easier to cool, they'd be easier to heat. I could put bunk beds in them, and I could put 20 bodies in there comfortably if we needed to, right? We do a bunk house, we do a kitchen house, we do living area, we put in 3 outhouses, we put in water catchment, we brought in food production, we brought in a greenhouse, right? That's where I put money. I brought in commercial poultry processing equipment. I bought a shipping container full of dimensional lumber. That's where I put my money rather than holding cash. And you know what? Never did I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I'd have bought a lot more fucking lumber. And lead, yeah. Beg to differ. We sold out for lower cost goods. Well, at least for a time, lower cost goods. And now our industry is crippled. Well, who are you, Warlike? You sold out. Okay, so you take the blame. What's the other option? Do you think that you should have not bought dimensional lumber at maybe Lowe's, right? That goes onto a ship. Raw wood goes onto a ship, goes out to international water. China mills it, processes it, kilns it, and brings it right back into the United States, like they also do with pork and poultry, right? So you think that you should have spent literally 3 times the cost of what you pay at Lowe's to support America, right? You're telling me that you are the cause for all of this because you said we. Like guys like to give me shit about made in the motherfucking USA. You got a Toyota truck. Toyota is more made in the United States than my Ford, my Dodge, or my Chevy. And then they point out, well, your Porsches. Okay, but when I take my Porsches to get it serviced, it's a bunch of white motherfuckers that work there that speak English, right? And when I take my Porsches to get tires, it's dudes, in the United States, right? And the dude that puts them on and balances them, and the guy that tunes up my cars, and the guy that puts the tune in all my shit, that's also a dude in the United States. Where'd your Glock come from, though? Oh, but you don't have a Glock, right? You don't carry a Glock. Greed across the board was a contributing factor, but it was also side effects of capitalism. Do you own a business? Because dudes that say capitalism, they don't own businesses. Smithfield has a hell of a supply chain, just saying, from someone who knows. Flesh that out. Tell me what you want me to take from that. Zelensky wants your kids to fight. Yeah, I saw it. Buy land, buy food. Yeah, buy land, buy food. Yep. Buy production stuff, right? Buy stuff that you can build other things with. Do you think the people will ever react? No. As long as they have electricity? No, as long as this thing's running, they ain't never gonna fucking react. Nope. They're comfortable. And they're dumbed down, right? We have poisoned them for the last 30 years. 3/4 of 20-year-old males I survey have never been in a fist fight. That's it exactly, right? I roughed house with my kids harder than any bully would ever fucking hit them. They haven't. They've never been in a fight. And here's the other thing, right? We used to, when kids would fall down, we'd be like, get up, you're okay, right? Mom wants to flock to them, dust them off. Dad wants to toughen them up. There is no dad at home anymore, right? So and there's another side to this too, right? Men are so fucking weak now, when they hear a kid cry, they're not concerned for the kid. They want to turn off the crying. So they stand them up, you're okay, pat them on the butt, right? We give them these devices. When you walk in a restaurant, you used to hear screaming children all the time. You don't hear that anymore. They're all in this thing, so they're all quiet, right? And now they don't know how to interact. So when it's time to have a tough conversation, they don't know how to do that. They literally fucking melt. You have 25, 30-year-old people who will throw a tantrum when things don't go their way because somebody said something not even harsh, but factual to them. I want to ask 20-year-olds that, and I'm sure, oh, fuck yeah. They've not been in a fight, right? Because they're not allowed to, right? We don't play tackle football. We don't play flag football. We don't play dodgeball, right? We don't do any of that shit. There's no kickball. There is nothing where a kid might get kicked with a round red rubber ball. It doesn't fucking exist anymore. You're not allowed to fight anymore. You're not allowed to solve problems. So people out in society, they don't know how to do that. So they're very fucking dangerous. There's a lot of victims, and there are very fucking dangerous people that will prey on those victims. Imagine an EMP going off while you're at a restaurant and the kids all free. You'll have, if the power goes out, teenagers will commit suicide in the first 24 hours. It happens right now in major cities when the power gets knocked out. Kids literally commit suicide over it. Any track in the election fraud in Arizona? Now, I haven't heard shit about it in a while, man. Just dropped from a woman building in case since 97. Crazy evidence just dropped from a woman building a case since 90. Yeah, I haven't heard anything, man. Who killed Cappy? I mean, fucking, you heard anything about that? All they gotta do is say you committed suicide and put some kiddie porn in your computer. $12.5 thousand per year for daycare per year makes second kid hard to talk myself into. You don't send them to daycare. Your wife stays home and raises your kids, and you take whatever job you have and you transition that into your own company. And then your wife comes and works at your company with you, and it could be out of the house. And then your kids are raised and homeschooled at your company. My kids were with us 24 hours a day. My kids literally from 1-year-old to 25-year-old were raised in the company. But we took years ago, around 1971, when we completely went off the gold standard, the very last pieces of it. But in the 80s especially, we did this whole thing where women need to, to support the family. And that's when the whole public school system was really pushed, right? And we convinced people that the only way to educate your kids were in public school, right? It's government school, it's not public school. So we now rely on that as daycare, right? Daycare is expensive, so I need to send my kid to be schooled by the government, and then I wonder in 20 years why my kids hate everything that I believe in. But your wife, she can still have a job. You create a job for her. And you work together, right? Well, I don't know if we're going to be together in 5 years. Then why the fuck did you marry her? See, we've made it so easy for people to just leave each other, right? You get instant gratification from this thing right here, right? You can look at porn. You don't like what your wife's doing, you can watch some other chick do it right here. And then it rewires your neural pathways. You have to make it work. You just make it work. It is so monetized, right? You don't go before a judge when you get divorced. You go before a magistrate. Do you know that all that child support that gets paid doesn't go to her and your kid? I pay $2,500 a month. Today, right now, $2,500 a month. My son and his mother get $1,300 of that. Tennessee steals it from my bank account. Tennessee sends it to California Child Support. California Child Support gives her $1,300. Chick-fil-A went woke. I didn't hear about that. Government school they kind of always were though, weren't they? Government school was touted as easier for families like the dishwasher. I've stopped buying Hershey's and Chick-fil-A. You shouldn't eat that shit anyways though. It's all fucking poisonous for you. Your son is over 19. Isaac Barrett. Homeschooling is key. Remember Dad telling me to scrub the rocks out of the cuts under the water, then poured out. Yeah. Thoughts on felon restraining 2A rights. Is it keeping... Okay, people who are felons that are going to murder somebody, are they going to get a gun or not, right? How many of the people who have shot, and let's just take mass shooting, right? But let's say real mass shooting, right? Because now if it's 3 or more, they say mass shooting. They also tell you that the worst threat to children 18 and under, they say children, right? They don't tell you that they're including 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds in this, is firearm related. If you look at firearm related deaths with children and you look at their numbers, 90% of them, I think it's even higher, I think it's like 97%, are 17 and 18-year-olds, and it's all gang related. They just move those numbers to tell you the story that they want to tell. So as far as felons, or first of all, I don't think anybody, no victim, no crime. If you can't produce a victim and a violent crime, they shouldn't lose their rights at all. They should have all of their fucking rights, right? If we can take a dude and put him in prison and he can still vote, why can't he have all his other stuff? They shouldn't be able to take that away. See, there's a difference between freedom and liberty. Liberty are God-given rights. You are born with them. Whether you believe in God or the Bible, whatever you believe, you are born with those rights. Free man means a man gave you those rights, and a man can take those rights away from you. The court system is there to make money. It is all about making money, and they are monetized on that, and they actually get bonuses on some of the shit that they do to you. Gang-related has shifted to mass shootings. Well, yeah, mass shooting is now just considered 3 people. And it can be a dude goes in, shoots his wife and kid and commits suicide. They classify it as a mass shooting. Very seldom do they even talk about gang violence. No, because most of the gangs that we grew up knowing, right, like the black gangs and the Crips and the Bloods, they went through and killed all those people. Those people, they're not there like they used to be. Now it's cartels. And the cartels are running rampant, and they are working with your government. Court system is against man, yes. It's designed to break up the family. It's the same reason that low income. It's the same reason as the child support, right? And then we put women in Section 8 housing, and the man's not allowed to live there, right? The woman is there with a child or multiple children, but the father of those children cannot reside at that house. My uncle always had a spray bottle of Wild Turkey for cuts and scrape. Yeah, the alcohol in it, right? CDC also removes self-defense shooting. Yeah, I'll bet they did. Yes, I have heard that. Very seldom. And they never want to talk about the statistics on that side. Marjorie Taylor Greene throws that out there. You'll see Ben Shapiro throw those out there. I did some schooling with my son during COVID. Almost didn't have any kids. So, Acellus Academy. Just look into Acellus Academy. It's online. MIT dude, science, technology, math. It's STEM emphasis. Typically, kids that are on Acellus Academy are actually 2 years ahead of kids in the public school system. And your kid will be done with schooling in about 90 minutes a day, right? The public school system will have your kids for 8 hours and then send your kids home with 5 more hours of homework. You've had my kid for 8 hours. Why the fuck can't you do your job and have all of that shit done while you have my kid? Ben Shapiro's getting soft. Yeah, you gotta, maybe Ben Shapiro's getting soft. Or maybe you're getting harder, Angel. Right? We become desensitized to those things. When we started watching those guys, it was shocking. And now, as you wake up and you really want to know what's going on in the world, run a business. If you don't run a business, you haven't even fucking scratched the surface. Run a business. Start a side hustle, start a hobby, start making moonshine, bootleg, I don't care what you do. Run a business of some manner, and you will really, it will open your eyes. You have this coating over your eyes, and you can't see through. Things are being filtered. You want to remove that, run a fucking business, and you will see things in a different light. We get school done 3 to 4 hours. Yep. And you have outside, right? We just give kids Ritalin, right? And the teacher will recommend that your kid be drugged and fucking retarded. Retarded means to slow down, right? We're not supposed to say, oh, retarded. We can't say that word, right? Because we have changed the meaning of words in the fucking dictionary. So we give these kids drugs based on the recommendation of a teacher, and they actually get paid for that shit, right? There's financial gains for that. Because we don't put kids outside, kids don't get sunlight, they don't get exercise, they don't get aggression out. And then we feed them things that raise their estrogen, and a byproduct of raising estrogen is lowering testosterone. Got a package from SOE today. 2 belts, toiletry bag. USPS decided to make it across the country event. Yeah, that happens, man. As fucked up as that is, whoever said that, keep in mind that less than 100 years ago, people were dying to get an envelope from the East Coast to the West Coast. Even though it was a cross country event, it is still pretty fucking amazing how mail moves today versus people dying over it less than 100 years ago. My wife is a special needs teacher in public school. Oh, God, I would not want that job. None of the kids have in-home fathers, and none have been raised by grandparents. Yes, and the more interesting thing that will never be spoken about that I would like to see the math behind is what did those mothers do while those children were in womb, right? What caused that, right? Ritalin, Adderall are just one element of meth. Yeah, it says right on it, methamphetamine salts. Acellus is great. 6-year-old is almost finished with it, first grade, almost 5 months. He drags his feet. Yeah, Jack Spirko's kids, his grandkids are doing Acellus. That's the problem, Amanda. Opinions are outlawed. Yes. We take the opinions of the weak to dumb down the opinions of the strong. We take the most craziest people, which literally just 20 years ago, we would have stuck them someplace where they could not be around other people, right? We would have put them in asylums, right? Or poorhouses. That's the same fucking thing. We would have locked them away. People who wouldn't work, we would have put them, you want to eat? Okay, here's this place. We have this place you can go. You have 2 choices. You have a few choices, actually. You can shut the fuck up and starve, or you can fucking produce something that somebody will give you money for, labor, skill, whatever, and you can feed yourself, or nobody's going to feed you. You don't want to work, no problem, but you don't get fed, right? If somebody wants to come out and feed you, that's fine. The church wants to come out and feed you, that's fine. The government does not feed you, right? If you want the government to feed you, we put you in these places and you fucking work and you get, those were poorhouses, right? All that's gone. And now we give the craziest fucking 1% of the population the loudest voice. Is the gray cat? No, it's a pork rind. There's a pork rind on the floor over there, and they go crazy. I never knew this, right? I've seen cats all my life. I never had a cat until a couple years ago. A cat will pop its claw out and pierce things, and then throw it up in the air, and then chase it and bat it. My cats will take and throw things in the air and smack them before they come down. My cats don't grab mice, they pierce mice with their claw. They'll pierce that mouse and then throw it, and then they'll bite it. It's actually very violent if you watch it. When I was very young, the school wanted me on drugs like that. We went to the doctor, and he said I just needed more protein. Yeah, more protein, more exercise, more sunlight. Got a package from SOE. My youngest can clean a 30-pound dumbbell overset. That's awesome, man. Get him some kettlebells. You're a good sanity check for my wife and I. Good to know like-minded people. So that's the deal, Flyover Joe, right? There are a lot of people out there, but they want to limit the things you say, right? They'll just suppress your feed. I used to do a live feed. I would do a live feed on Facebook every morning at 9 o'clock. On a treadmill upstairs or a stair stepper, and there would be 5,000 people listening to me talk while I did that. They've throttled all that back. Those 5,000 people that were there, within 5 minutes I'd go live and 5,000 people would be on commenting and having conversation. Those people didn't disappear. They just realized what I was saying and figured out how to throttle that back. I have over 4,000 videos here. I have over 100 million minutes watch time. We put up shorts. We launched shorts on here and had over 6 million views the first week. Where are those people here, right? There's only 70 people on here. It's because they don't want that message out. There are people, actually the majority, there are more people that think what you think than don't think what you think. Because the people who don't think what you think, they're not employed. You have 2 people in the world here. You have 2 kinds of people in the United States. Chuck, John, my son that you met, right on. I don't know what we're talking about. There's two kinds of people. You have people that work and produce a product or have a skill, right? Whether you go to school or not. A dentist. Somebody will, there's nobody that goes to a dentist because somebody makes, well, your mom might make you, but you seek the dentist out, right? You're either going to care for your teeth twice a year, once a year, whatever, or you're going to have a terrible problem where you're really going to pay the dentist anything he wants to fix your problem on the weekend, right? You seek that person out. Or somebody builds something, right? I build this product and then I show it to people and people willingly give me $60 for this. The government doesn't make them. And then there's the other kind of person. The other kind of person is bureaucracy, right? You are forced to, at the threat of gunpoint, you are forced to go to the DMV and pay to register a vehicle that you already bought, right? So every year you pay tax to drive your vehicle. What happens if you don't go? They send you notification. Eventually they impound your truck. They put you in jail for not paying the tax. That's bureaucracy. Any federal agency, any federal place that you go, that you are forced to go to, and that's half of the fucking world. Half of the people that you walk amongst in the United States, wherever you reside, half of those people have a job only because they take money from people like me and give money to people like them. Because if people who worked and made things with their hands had a say in it, those people wouldn't exist. Those jobs would not be there. Do you know that they've talked about, they're saying 23%. They want a 23% flat tax. Do you know that with a 10% flat tax, that means you only pay tax when you spend money, right? You don't pay federal tax, you don't pay property, you don't pay nothing. You pay 10%. If you paid 10% every time you spent $1, do you know that the government would bring in more money than it makes right now with all the different tax brackets? You know, there's people that actually are like, but what would happen to the IRS? People actually have that argument. I'm surprised my chick isn't here. I got her hooked on y'all. Right on, right on. I'll give you 70. What are you giving me 70 bucks for? I was put on Ritalin in elementary school for maybe 6 months, and it messed me up for a while. Luckily for my parents, for me, my parents didn't like the way it, yeah. Scully's flowing hair is what draws the viewers. Guys, you want to see some crazy shit? You want to see some crazy shit? On this YouTube channel, there's a button somewhere that says shorts. Click on shorts and just watch a few of those shorts. Read the comments. There's thousands of comments in there. There are people, I don't know how they're finding us. They're not here. They're not on our real videos. They're only on shorts, and they are fucking pissed. Like fucking pissed at the things that Jeff and I say. Oh, 60 for the bag? I don't know what that bag costs. I think it's 60, 65 bucks, Isaac. I've got 3 of them if you want one. They're probably, who knows? We're so fucked up. We have products sitting all over this place and you can't even buy it. But in the last few days, we have fixed a lot of that. Amanda and I are in here on the floor doing a ton of shit. Everybody in here is running 100%. We've been cutting every night. Amanda and I have been cutting material and we had tons of stuff all over. We're just getting everything organized. Evan, what's up, buddy? Stop getting notifications. Yeah, a lot of people on this thread said they got no notifications and they were actually unsubscribed. John, my son that you met, Chris Watkins. Cats are murder machines. I don't blame people for shooting nearly all the tigers. John, my son that you has friend that is also homeschooling during COVID. He started raising reptiles last year. He made over $100,000 last year selling to pet shops. He's still in high school. That's awesome, Chris. I did reptiles. We had thousands. I had 2 full-time reptile keepers. One of them moved here from Las Vegas. He was Nicolas Cage's reptile guy. And yeah, you can definitely make, so the only thing, so here's the thing with reptiles or any animals for that matter, right? Let's take bearded dragons, for example. You can buy a bearded dragon at the pet shop for, $100. You can also get a $5,000 bearded dragon. It takes the same amount of crickets every week, and it takes the same amount of vegetation and the same amount of red light
and it takes the same amount of calcium powder, right? So the inputs are the same. So if we're going to breed bearded dragons, if you breed $100 bearded dragons, you make $15, $20 babies, right, at wholesale price. If you breed $5,000 baby dragons, you make $3,000 baby dragons. And your clutches are going to be the same, right? You're going to get the same amount of eggs. You're just going to have way more expensive animals. So you might as well breed way more expensive animals. I love you enough to check around PM Eastern time. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. Your shorts are actually showing up more. Yeah, the shorts are actually fucking up all the other videos. And you don't make any money on the shorts. So we have millions and millions and millions of views and thousands of comments. You don't make any money on the shorts. I actually don't make shit on YouTube. I've made about $17,000 all total on YouTube for the last, I think, 14 years. And you know where it's at? It's sitting in YouTube. I pulled 7 out years and years ago. There's 10 grand sitting in YouTube right now. What's the difference in the bearded dragons? Color phase, genetics, just a better animal. Same animal, better paint job. I can't remember what rifle pouch Jaeger said to get for a chest rig. He liked the Rally Mints, Daniel, and I have some here. 10%, 3 fed, 3 state, 4 county town. No, you do away with those. You just do a flat tax. I don't care how they break it up. There is nothing they're going to do right now. Like we were talking today, right? Somebody's proposing a 23% flat tax, and they're like, that's way too much. Fuck, it would take what I pay and cut it. It would cut 2/3 off the top of what I pay. Why not take the YouTube? I just haven't had it there. It's a slush fund in case I ever need it. My ex-girlfriend had bearded dragons. They remind me of her. Is that good or bad? So you saw them do this, right? They'll just do this thing, and they'll come down, and then they'll raise their other arm, and, move it around. I would rather watch this compared to shorts. Yeah, there's nothing real in shorts, right? So we took a video we did, Scully and I, talking about. Scully's like, look. It was part of a 2-hour podcast. If you're in our membership area, at our 3rd level, we put the podcasts up. Like, there's a bunch of podcasts. If you're at level 3, the podcast we're going to record tomorrow, you'll have it on probably Thursday or Friday night if you're at our 3rd level membership. It's current events is what it is. So we were talking about, he's like, look, man, all these dudes out there with all their fucking cry shit, and they go take a gun class, they're LARPing. Scully's like, I LARP. People don't realize Scully was the NCOIC of Scout Sniper School. Like, every sniper platoon, and when he was at SOTG, every SEAL platoon had to come through his program. People don't have a clue what they're fucking talking about. And they're like, this dude's just talking shit about gun trainers, and he hates guns, and blah, 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 blah. And what Scully said was, even Chris Costa, and that's what was beeped out, right? Even Chris Costa, as good as he is, he's probably spent $1 million shooting. He's been doing this for what, 40 years? I'll bet Chris has been shooting for 40 years. He's got $1 million just in ammo, right? My shit starter, my always stirring the pot, Austin, took that clip from a 2-hour video and made a 15-second short out of it. And that's what they're talking shit about. And everybody's like, oh, he's talking shit about Off the Ranch. I'm not at all. I like Matt. I'm kind of friends with Matt. He's like, oh, he's talking shit about T-Rex. We never even mentioned T-Rex. We said Chris Costa, and there was no shit talking at all. Austin beeped out the cuss words, and that's what was left. So these dudes are just lost their fucking mind. Go find the video, and you will see there's a doodle comment, and then there's 80 more comments. And then a doodle comment, and there's 20 more comments. You want to have some fun? Comment. Those guys are all they have to do in life right now, apparently, is fucking comment on those threads. It's probably good. It probably spurs the algorithm somehow. But you want some, go start some shit with those dudes. Go fucking talk to those dudes. And they're like, it's your fault. You edited it. I'm like, if you want to see what was really said, pay $1. In countries that ban TikTok, YouTube Shorts own it. Yeah, well, why did when we started talking about TikTok, it was the week after YouTube started Shorts. Next SRF, digging foxholes with Scully. Scully will be here. We're going to be podcasting a lot. We've got the studio all set up. What's the difference in the bearded dragons? Can't remember. I think I've read all these guys. All right, guys, I'm about to get off of here. Comment LARPers. Yeah, just comment. The thing is, right, when you click on any of their names, I don't know what you guys see, but on my, because it's my page, when I click their names, I see all their comments. None of them have made any comments. 4,000 videos, and none of them have made comments on any of our real videos. And then I click their name again, and it takes me to their channel, and you guess what else they have? Nothing. They have nothing. They've not made any, there's no content, there's nothing of them out there doing the fucking the fucking forearm, you know, hold up at the barrel. There's literally nothing on there of them doing anything they're talking about. Yeah, everyone wants free speech until they agree with it. Yeah, you can have all the free speech you want in your living room, just not in my living room. I started watching the full builds video. I really did not know that much work went into your gear. So Daniel, like, people were like, are you really going to show them that you can build this in 5 minutes? I go, dude, it's not the 5 minutes they're paying for. It's the 35 years they're paying for. So a few things happen, right? There's guys in here right now. Out of 70 people, there's probably 3 or 4 guys who have watched the videos and went and bought sewing machines, right? They're gonna make a go of it. They're still, no matter how good they get, they're still gonna buy shit from me. We're gonna be friends, right? But a lot of dudes look at that and they go, holy shit, I'm just gonna buy this fucking $300 backpack, right? But guys will get a sewing machine, and a lot of the dudes that buy sewing machines, it's neat, they'll try it, they're excited, but then they're gonna be on to the next thing, right? And I'm gonna buy their sewing machine from them in a few months. The next time when they drive to Camden, they're gonna be like, hey, you wanna buy this sewing machine? I'm like, yes, I'll give you half price for it. Or I'll trade you retail price in gear for it, right? But there's gonna be some dudes that start, and there's going to be some kid who's fucking totally awesome in 2 years, and we're going to do some kind of collab together, right? We're both going to make money off of each other. Or there'll be some guy that starts building gear, and we're going to have this fake beef on the internet, and he's going to get a bunch of customers that don't like me, and I'm going to get a bunch of customers that support me, and like, it's going to be like, it's the rap game, right? You got to get shot up to get in the rap game. I just enjoy watching your work. Right on. I like watching Adam Savage. I like watching his stuff. I started watching full builds. Any comments on the Google-eyed Glock? Yeah, there's no shit talkers on there, surprisingly. I think we're going to do a Glock it's like pinup girl art, but it'll be googly eyes, and the mouth will just be a glorp hole instead of like a shark's teeth, you know? Like they used to paint the bombs and shit. What's my net worth? Probably not what you think it is, Roger. I'm sure you have way more money than I do. I can tell you that there are several times a year where my bank account is in the negative, and I can tell you that the next week it's over millions. That happens pretty frequently. I spend money faster than I make it. There's something else you should do as well versus all your production sewers. I already know they won't do it. I think we should get dudes. I think we should do like a sew off or something where a bunch of us guys from the industry come together and sit down and do something. They wouldn't do it. They won't do it. And if they do, they would never invite me to it. Scully, let me clear the air, leads to him saying Glocks and googly eyes. That's what 50 Cent said to Chameleonaire. I gave you the alley op, but you just didn't say anything back. Yeah, I gave you the alley-oop. Make underwear. I don't know. So underwear would be a completely different equipment, but let's just say clothing, right? None of these sewing machines will sew clothing. We'd have to do, like, I don't even know the first thing. And I watch people build clothing, right? You take a pattern, and when you buy the pattern, it's got all the different patterns, so you just cut it out or T-pin it in, right? It looks pretty easy. I've never sewed any clothing. Never sewed clothing. if I was going to do clothing, I would do a collaboration with Leonard at Katanica. Most of the other industry stuff doesn't have the attention to. No, it doesn't. Absolutely, it doesn't. You didn't answer my question on the sock maker. I don't know what the other day. I don't know what the sock maker is. I don't know what you mean. I don't have a sock maker. You're too scary looking. Just dye your hair. How did I get started sewing? I wasn't. I guess I was a good pimp. I was a good pimp, but there was no money in that. I don't know. It's a very long story. I've told it a million times. I'm about to jump off of here. So we have all these conversations. We do a question and answer on our membership, on our private membership. It's $1 for $1, right? And we do over 10 hours of content where we actually sit down with microphones and tell lengthy stories about all kinds of shit. Jeff's military story, my non-military background having to do with the military, everything, like all kinds of shit. Stuff that we don't do anymore, crazy shit that we did that you would definitely be in trouble for doing now. I mean, everything. Anybody on here in the members group? Do you think that the members group is worth belonging to? See all these guys here that have these stars? See the blue star? See the green stars? Those are the longest dudes. And then the yellow star, I think the yellow star is more recent. I don't know how the ranking, I don't even know how the ranking goes. But we have a membership and you can get in there and I think it's well worth it. And we take a lot more time to discuss. GB, 6-month membership. Thank you for joining up, buddy. Beyond Thunderdome. So Beyond Thunderdome is the 2nd level. Current Events is the 3rd level. The 3rd level is $15. And that gets you every piece of content we make almost immediately. You get access to a lot more. When we do new products, we always show them to those guys first. The guys in this on the back end there, if we're going to build something new or we have something limited, we post it up for you guys. Pulling the thread is worth it alone, let alone relationships. So the relationship advice, like I give real advice where I can, but most of it's like you just married the wrong bitch. Like if you're sticking around broken people and trying to fix broken people, all you end up doing is wondering why your life is fucking broken. Just ask yourself, right? No matter how hot she is, no matter how nasty she does you in bed, fucking if she's fucked up, if the world ended, do you have a chance of surviving with her? And the answer is fucking no. You're gonna get, if you try to survive with her, she is going to get you killed, right? You need to think about that now. You can date her and have 5 or 6 nasty bitches, but when it's time to grow up, you better have a fucking solid one. Because if she's broken, you're literally a day away from society changing, and she will get you dead. $1 a month, outrageous. People say that, man. Member is worth at least $25, even though the highest is 10. The highest is 15. We have a $15. I now know why I won. Because Amanda's like, a hairdresser is like a stripper, right? I had strippers, I had porn star girlfriends. Like, they could make a movie, a legit movie, about the shit that was going on 30 years that I was involved in. Amanda is a hairdresser. That's like a stripper without the drug problems. Now, some of you can get a stripper, you can get a hairdresser that is also a part-time stripper, right? But that's like having all the fun parts of the stripper without the drug addiction. And when I met Amanda, when Amanda worked at Supercuts, right? She managed some Supercuts in the San Diego, North County area. Amanda was pulling down 120 grand a month on paper. That wasn't tips and shit, right? Amanda made her own money. And then when she left Supercuts for a while, she was at a salon doing $200 haircuts. Like, Amanda was making money. $10 a month for a membership and $30 for a piece of gear. That's outrageous. Oh, wait. Yeah. Stripper, that's exactly what it is. A grown-up stripper. And she still puts a costume on and looks fucking completely hot. Amanda can nasty up for me when I need it. What do you get out of the interaction? What makes it worth your time? I don't get shit, Greg. I don't. It cost me. I pay 2 guys. Like, okay, I pay I pay over $3,000 a week Yeah, we're about $3,000 a week to do the podcast and the videos that we do. That's what comes out of my pocket, not SOE, not the company. I pay $3,000 a week to do the videos. Every now and then, some dude starts a company and comes to me with something, and we co-brand and we make money. I do this, and hopefully in the future here, in 3 years or 5 years or 2 years or whatever, hopefully I make some money off of what I did today because some dude took it and ran with it forward a couple of years. But it cost me money. There is no fucking profit in doing those videos for us. Not yet, anyways. Maybe in the future there will be. That was so romantic. Amanda must have a small tear. I don't know what you're talking about. So, I don't know what you're talking about or how you took that, but Amanda and I have been together off and on for over 20 years. We are together 24 hours a day. I can be as crude as I want. I can be as nice as I want. We work. I look at other people's relationships that probably think they're great, and I think, what a miserable fucking piece of shit. Or how fucking miserable. Like, we work together. Where do you get all the interaction that makes it? What do you get? Okay. Like James always used to say, I'm going to trade Rebecca in for, or he always called her my old broad, right? Or he's like, I'm going to trade her in for 225s now that she's 50, right? And people were like, I can't believe your wife my wife doesn't let me do anything, right? Or dudes are like, I can't believe your wife lets you spend, my wife doesn't allow me to do anything. I don't have to ask permission. I just half the time, when I bought this building, I texted her and said, hey, we're going to buy this building. She's like, awesome. What are we going to do with it? Whatever I do, Amanda is always going to benefit from. And she knows that. We've been apart, right? We've spent a year apart. We've spent 2 years apart. We know what that looks like. We like this way better. Okay for an old broad. I thought he tried to put that on a license plate at one point. Jose, what's up, buddy? All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off of here now that Jose's here. Fuck that guy. Not really. I love Jose. He knows it. Let is a dirty word. I don't. So it's everybody's mentality, right? It's like my shelter dog, right? We have a video coming out. You'll see it. My shelter dog. Why is it your shelter dog? Why don't you just call it your dog? It's because you're looking for some more attaboys, because I adopted something that nobody else wanted. Or I adopted this animal that would have been fucking better off dead, and I'm the only one that'll keep it alive and pay all the extra money for all its anxiety medication, right? My shelter dog. I don't call my stepkids my stepkids. I call them my kids, right? That's just how that is. People are like, my partner. What do you mean your partner? Are you in business? Don't you? Is that a fucking? She got a pussy or a dick, right? That's either your fucking husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. We have fucking. They are dumbing you down. You are being fucking diluted. There was stripper once. All things could be. There was stripper once. All things could be equal out for the. I don't know what that means. Trust and respect. Yeah. All right, guys, listen. Before I keep going, just got home from Texas. You be safe, man. You be safe. It looks like your woman's working fucking her ass off. It looks like there is a lot less of her, man. I see her posts. And fucking good for her. She knows how to do it. Just keep doing it. Anyways, I'm out of here. We're going to record a bunch of shit tomorrow. So we got some content that went up today on YouTube if you want to see more of my beautiful face. And Aurora Rings, buddy. How are you? And I'm out of here.